This is the Elephone A8, a very budget-friendly smartphone. I bought this for about £40, that's 50 US dollars. I bought it specifically as an experiment, a test of how much smartphone we could get for almost no money at all. I've been using it full-time as my main phone for a week now. So here's my verdict. Let's start with the good stuff. It's cheap, really cheap. If you wanted a phone to use in a situation where risk of loss, damage or theft is high, you might consider this one. It's Android 7, so you can install the latest apps. The physical build looks nice. The design's a little bit out of date, but I won't hold that against it. The camera is surprisingly okay. Not brilliant. We did have some washout on some video footage, but also not terrible. You can shoot 1080 HD video on here that is better quality than I've seen on more expensive phones. It can support dual SIM plus micro SD. Calling is okay. It works just fine as a phone. Call quality was clear, speakerphone is acceptably clear and loud. Battery life is reasonably good. I had more than half left at the end of the day, although my usage was less than normal due to factors I'll explain in a moment. The fingerprint scanner is good, it's responsive and accurate. Not everyone will like the placement of the fingerprint scanner on the back of the phone, but some others will prefer that. Now, let's look at the not so good. The screen is the first thing you will notice. It uses an old LCD technology with limited viewing angle, and this really isn't fun to look at. The placement of the back button is odd. Most Android phones have three little buttons at the bottom, and the left one is the back button. On the Elephone A8, the back button's on the right. It's a silly little thing, but after a week, I still didn't get accustomed to it. Performance can be a bit laggy. This is not surprising as it's not top of the range spec. It was tolerable for most apps, but I don't think you should expect to play 3D games on this phone. The phone only has limited bands. I knew this when I bought it, but it's more of a limitation than I expected. I couldn't get it to connect to any mobile data services in my region. I was limited to Wi-Fi at home. For this reason, the battery life might have seemed a bit better than it would otherwise, as I was not checking emails and web pages whilst away from home. The spec on TomTop was misleading in several ways. They use the terms IPS and 2.5D glass, but this phone does not have an IPS display, and the glass is not 2.5D. It's completely flat. Worst of all, TomTop mislabeled this as a 720p display when it's only 480 pixels wide, so actually this phone fails one of my essential criteria. But this is the fault of the marketing, not the phone itself. So, my conclusion. Connectivity is really important. I should have sacrificed one of my essential criteria and gone for 4G instead. Specs and adverts can be badly misleading. Closer reading is important. But we've seen misleading marketing right across the market, so this is not a unique failing with this manufacturer or anything like that. Despite all that, this is still quite a remarkable device in terms of what it does for the money. It's trying incredibly hard to deliver a well-rounded feature set for an incredibly low price point. It struggles to deliver those features, but I have to say it's a really brave effort. Would I recommend it? Well, not really as an all-day, everyday phone, but it still might be a good deal for people on very limited budgets, or for use where risk of loss, theft or damage is higher, such as, I don't know, a festival maybe, or the beach. So what do you think? Would you use this phone? Would you like to try it? If you're still watching and it's still October 2017, how would you like a chance to win this phone and give it a go yourself? All you have to do is post in the comments and tell me what sort of thing you want me to review in future. You can suggest anything you like, and your suggestion doesn't have to be unique. I'm just interested to hear your ideas. If you want to post a suggestion but you don't want the phone, just say that too in your comment. I'll pick one random commenter on the 1st of November 2017, and that person will get this phone to try out for themselves or actually do whatever they like with it. I've found this quite an interesting experiment. I hope you did too. Now, I'm desperate to get back to the Maze Alpha. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.